Part 2 of She Said, I Am Too Old for You. Korean billionaire said, You are the only woman I want in my life. 3 weeks later, the board summoned him. Not requested, summoned. The message came at 3:12 a.m. Mandatory attendance, Seoul, in person. Alana watched him read it from across the kitchen table. You have to go, she said quietly. Yes. Are they going to remove you? Not without a fight. She folded her arms. I don't want to be the reason you lose everything. You're not. It looks that way from the outside. He stood and walked toward her. Then we changed the outside. She studied his face. You're calm. I'm prepared. For what? For them to test whether I value power more than I value you. And? He didn't hesitate. They already know the answer. Seoul was colder than he remembered, or maybe it just felt that way. The boardroom's doors closed behind him with deliberate finality. His father sat at the head of the table. Directors lined both sides. We've reviewed the media impact, one director began carefully. Stock dipped 6%. It recovered, Joon replied evenly. Temporarily. His father leaned back. You attached your name to a scandal involving an older former teacher. She was falsely accused. That is not what the public remembers, another director said. They remember the headline. He met each pair of eyes calmly. Then we'll give them a new one. His father's voice sharpened. You will end this relationship. No. You will distance yourself. No. You are willing to jeopardize a generational legacy for a woman with baggage? He didn't blink. Yes. The room went silent. His father's jaw tightened. You are thinking emotionally. I am thinking long-term. Explain. I am building a life I can stand inside of. One director scoffed quietly. This is infatuation. It's consistency. His father leaned forward. You've known her for how long? 14 years. You haven't been with her for 14 years. No, but I've never forgotten her. And that justifies destabilizing strategic alliances? Yes. His father's expression shifted. You sound naive. I sound decisive. A long silence followed. Then his father said something colder. You think you're the first son to fall in love against expectation? No. Then you understand what happens next. Yes. You lose political access, certain contracts, social positioning. I'll build new ones. With what network? My own. That hit, because that was the real threat. Independence. His father studied him for a long time. You would divide this family. I would evolve it. Back in New York, Alana's phone buzzed again. This time it wasn't Yura, it was her ex-husband. Unknown number, but she knew the rhythm of his silence. She let it go to voicemail. Then it buzzed again, and again. Finally, she answered. What? His voice was smooth, too smooth. You've been busy. This is not your concern. It becomes my concern when my daughter's face is trending. Her stomach tightened. Mina is not your leverage. She's my child too. You forfeited that right. Legally, no. She closed her eyes briefly. What do you want? I want stability for her. You mean control. I mean reconsidering custody. Ice slid through her veins. You haven't seen her in a year. And now she's living in scandal. She's living with her mother. And a billionaire half her mother's age? Her voice went deadly calm. You don't get to judge my choices. I get to question who's around my daughter. You lost that privilege. He chuckled softly. We'll see what a judge says. The line went dead. Alana stood there staring at her phone. For years, she had rebuilt peace, and suddenly every powerful person connected to Joon was circling. When Joon called that evening, she didn't soften her tone. My ex wants custody. Silence on the line. Why? Because Mina's name is in the news. His voice changed. Does he have grounds? He'll try to fabricate them. Has he ever been physically abusive towards Mina? No. Towards you? She hesitated. Yes. Documented? Yes. Then he won't win. You sound confident. I am. You weren't in the courtroom with me the last time. I will be this time. She exhaled slowly. You're in Korea fighting your father. I can fight on 2 continents. That's not healthy. I didn't ask for healthy. She almost smiled despite the stress. You're ridiculous. I'm committed. Silence. Then she asked quietly, Are they trying to push you out? Yes. Her heart tightened. I don't have to prove anything to you. I'm not proving anything. Then why does this feel like war? Because it is. There was silence. Alana. Yes. If your ex files for custody, I want my legal team involved. That makes it look like you're buying influence. I am buying protection. I don't want Mina thinking problems disappear because someone rich pays for them. They won't disappear. They'll be dismantled. She sat down slowly. This is exactly what I was afraid of. What? That loving you means fighting everyone. His voice softened. Then let me be worth the fight. Silence stretched long and heavy. Why now? She asked quietly. Because my father believes this will collapse under pressure. And I want to show him it won't. She swallowed. You're asking me to trust you with everything. Yes. Another pause. And if my family humiliates me? They won't. You can't promise that. No, he admitted, but I can promise I won't stand silent. That mattered, more than she wanted it to. I need to think, she said finally. Take your time. He hung up and looked at Mina. Do you want to visit Korea? Mina's eyes widened. Like on TV? Yes. Will there be spicy noodles? Alana laughed softly. Yes. Mina thought for a moment. Is Joon going to be there? Yes. Then okay. Alana exhaled slowly, because she knew something Mina didn't. This wouldn't be a visit, it would be a statement. And once made, there would be no shrinking back. The plane ride felt longer than 13 hours. Mina pressed her face to the window as Seoul's skyline came into view. It's so big, she whispered. Alana's stomach tightened. Big meant visible. Visible meant exposed. Joon was waiting at a private terminal when they landed. He didn't walk. He closed the distance in 3 strides. For a second, he forgot the cameras, forgot the staff, forgot everything. Are you okay? He asked her softly. Yes. Mina? Mina grinned. This is cooler than Disney. He laughed under his breath. Good. But when he looked back at Alana, his expression changed. Less warmth, more calculation. They're watching, he said quietly. Your father? Yes. And others. She straightened instinctively. Then let them. The house wasn't a house. It was a compound. Gates, security, stone pathways so precise they looked untouched by real life. Mina squeezed her hand. Is this where princes live? Something like that, Alana murmured. The doors opened before they reached them. His father stood at the top of the steps. Impeccable suit, immovable expression. He didn't look at Joon first. He looked at Alana. Assessing, measuring. Then Mina, lingering a second longer. Alana felt it, but she didn't shrink. Father, Joon said evenly. You've created noise, his father replied. I've created clarity. His father's gaze shifted back to Alana. You must be Miss Brooks. Alana, she corrected calmly. A flicker in his eyes. Direct, unapologetic. I am aware of your history. I'm sure you are. And you still came. Yes. Why? She didn't look at Joon. Because I don't hide. Silence. Mina tugged her hand. Hi, Mina said politely. Joon's father looked down at her. You speak Korean? Mina shook her head. No, but I can learn. There was silence. Unexpected. His father gestured toward the doors. Come inside. Dinner was quiet. Too quiet. Long table. Too many chairs. Too much space. His father didn't insult her. He didn't need to. His questions did the work. You are 44. Yes. You have been divorced 2 years. Yes. You were my son's teacher. Yes. And you see no imbalance here? Alana set down her fork carefully. Imbalance would imply he doesn't have agency. His father's eyes sharpened. You assume agency equals wisdom. No, she said calmly. I assume adults can choose. Joon watched her carefully. His father shifted. You are aware that in our culture— I am not Korean, she said gently, and I won't pretend to be. The air changed. You do not intend to adapt? I intend to respect, not erase myself. Joon's father studied her longer this time. And my son? She glanced at Joon briefly. Is capable of navigating both. There was silence again. Mina broke it. These noodles are spicy. Everyone paused. Joon smiled faintly. I warned you. His father's gaze softened for half a second at the child's honesty. Then it hardened again. You understand this union will not be celebrated publicly. Alana met his eyes. I didn't come for applause. You came for what? She didn't hesitate. For him. That was the first time Joon almost looked undone. His father noticed, and that, more than anything, unsettled him. The next morning, headlines in Seoul were ruthless. Foreign divorcee disrupts heir's legacy. Age gap scandal escalates. Custody battle intensifies. Alana read them in silence. Joon found her on the balcony overlooking the city. Regretting it? He asked quietly. No. Lying? A little. He stepped beside her. I can shut down some outlets. And prove their point? They're attacking you. They're testing you. He looked at her. They're doing both. She folded her arms. Your father doesn't hate me. No. You hate what I represent. Yes. And what is that? Choice. She exhaled. Your ex filed an additional motion. Her stomach dropped. What now? He's requesting a psychological evaluation for you. She laughed once, sharp. Of course he is. I'll destroy it. Don't. He looked at her sharply. Why? Because I don't want Mina growing up thinking her mother survives because a powerful man crushed everyone. I wouldn't crush everyone. You're already crushing everyone. Silence. You think I can't fight? She asked. I think you shouldn't have to alone. I'm not alone. She met his eyes. But I need to stand on my own feet here. He softened slightly. Then I stand beside you. There was a pause. Not in front, she added. Not in front, he agreed. That afternoon, Yura appeared again. Not at the house, at a charity gala, the kind of event where optics mattered more than truth. Joon hadn't planned to attend until he saw the guest list. She'll use this, he said. Alana adjusted her dress calmly. Then let her. He looked at her. You don't have to go. I know. But you want to. Yes. Why? Because if I hide, she wins. He studied her carefully. You'll be stared at. I've been stared at before. You'll be judged. I've been judged before. You'll be compared. She gave him a look. I'm not competing. That silenced him. At the gala entrance, cameras flashed again. Whispers followed. There she is. She's older than I thought. She's confident. Yura spotted them instantly. Perfect posture. Perfect smile. She approached like nothing had happened. Joon. He didn't smile. Yura. Her eyes slid to Alana. Miss Brooks. Yura. You look comfortable. I am. Yura tilted her head.
Are you enjoying Seoul? I enjoy clarity. A faint smile curved Yura's lips. You think you have it. I don't think, Alana replied evenly. I observe. Yura stepped closer. You've embarrassed my family. You embarrassed yourself. A flicker. Finally. Real emotion. You won't survive here, whispered Yura. Alana didn't step back. I didn't come here to survive. Then why did you come? She glanced briefly at Joon, then back at Yura. To stay. And for the first time, Yura's confidence wavered. Because this wasn't a fling. It wasn't a rebellion. It wasn't a phase. It was deliberate. And that was far more dangerous.
Across the room, Joon's father watched the exchange, not with anger, with calculation. Because now the question wasn't whether Alana would break under pressure, it was whether his son would. And so far, he hadn't. The gala ended without a scene, but that didn't mean it ended quietly. By morning, clips of Alana standing across from Yura were everywhere. She doesn't look intimidated. She looks older. She looks composed. She looks like she belongs there. The commentary split down the middle. Joon scrolled once, then locked his phone. They're dissecting your posture, he muttered. Alana sipped her tea. Let them. You're trending. I've graded papers under worse pressure. He looked at her. You're not shaken? I am, she admitted calmly, but I don't perform panic. He exhaled slowly. That's steadiness. It was what he remembered from 19, but now it hit differently. Now it steadied him. 3 days later, the board summoned him. Not a request, a summons. Alana adjusted Mina's hair before school when he told her. You don't have to go, she said quietly. If I don't go, they'll call it avoidance. And if you do, they'll call it disobedience. She gave him a small smile. So, either way? Either way, he echoed. Mina looked between them. Are they mean to you here? He crouched in front of her. Some of them are confused. About what? He glanced up at Alana. About what matters. Mina nodded like that made perfect sense. Then just tell them, she said simply. He smiled faintly. If only it were that easy. The boardroom was colder than usual. Men who had known him since childhood avoided eye contact. His father sat at the head of the table. Sit, his father said. Joon did. You have destabilized strategic partnerships, one board member began. I ended an engagement, Joon replied evenly, with consequences. Personal consequences are not corporate liabilities. They are when your name is tied to ours. Another voice cut in. Shareholders are questioning your judgment. My judgment increased profits last quarter. This isn't about profit. No, Joon said calmly. It's about control. Silence. His father spoke next. You intend to marry her. Not a question. Yes. You intend to integrate her child into this family. Yes. You intend to bring this narrative into our legacy. Joon didn't flinch. I intend to live honestly. A board member scoffed softly. This is infatuation. It's not. You are 33. Yes. She is 44. Yes. A pause. And you do not see the optics. I see them clearly. And I don't build my life on optics. The air shifted. His father's voice dropped slightly. You are asking this family to absorb scrutiny. I'm asking this family to evolve. That landed heavier than he expected. One older board member leaned back. You're prepared to lose influence over this. Joon met his gaze. Yes. His father's eyes narrowed. You would walk away, if that's the cost. Silence swallowed the room. Because until that moment, they had all assumed he wouldn't. They assumed legacy would outweigh love. They assumed power would outweigh principle. But he had just drawn a line, and everyone felt it. Meanwhile, Alana sat across from her ex-husband's attorney. Video conference, polished smile, polished manipulation. You've relocated internationally, temporarily, with a man significantly younger than you, With the man I'm in a relationship with. Your daughter is experiencing instability. Mina is in school, Mina is supported, Mina is safe. Public controversy can affect a child psychologically. So can an abusive household, Alana replied calmly. The lawyer stiffened. We are not revisiting old allegations. We're not ignoring patterns either. A pause. Are you prepared for a full custody evaluation? Yes. Even if it includes financial disclosure from your partner. She didn't blink. Yes. And media exposure? I've been exposed before. The lawyer leaned forward slightly. Why are you doing this? For my daughter. No, he said softly. Why are you risking this? She held his gaze. Because I won't teach her to shrink. Silence. He ended the call first. That night, June found her sitting on the edge of the guest room bed. Lights off, just city glow through the window. You look tired, he said quietly. I am, he said beside her. Bored? Predictable. She nodded. X? Also predictable. A long pause. You can still leave, she said suddenly. He turned toward her slowly. We've had this conversation. Yes, but it's different now. How? You're losing leverage. I'm gaining clarity. She looked at him. You're 33. And? You don't know what 44 feels like. He studied her face carefully. Tell me. It feels like being judged before you speak. It feels like being called desperate for wanting love. It feels like knowing time moves differently for you than for him. His jaw tightened. You don't think I understand time? You don't, she said gently. Not the way I do. Silence. He didn't get defensive, didn't interrupt. He let her finish. I don't want to be the chapter you look back on and call reckless. He leaned forward slightly. You weren't reckless at 19. That was a crush. This isn't. She swallowed. You could have anyone. I don't want anyone. You say that now. I've said it for 14 years. That stopped her. He held her gaze. I didn't date women my age because I was waiting to turn 33. She exhaled shakily. I dated, I tried, I lived, but nothing felt honest. You're romanticizing. I'm not. He took her hand slowly. Do you think I don't see the age gap? Then why doesn't it scare you? It does. That surprised her. But not enough to walk away. There was a long silence. You deserve someone who doesn't cost you everything, she whispered quietly. He smiled faintly. You assume I measure cost the way my father does. She looked at him. And you don't? No. He leaned closer, voice low. I measure regret. That hit, and she felt it. Because at 44, regret was heavier than judgment. He brushed his thumb lightly over her knuckles. I would regret losing you. Silence wrapped around them. Then she whispered, barely audible. I'm afraid. He didn't say, don't be. He didn't say, it'll be fine. He said, so am I. And for the first time since Seoul, they were just two people again. Not headlines, not strategy, not legacy. Just two people choosing each other anyway. Outside that room, though, pressure was building. Yura hadn't disappeared. She had gone quiet. And quiet was far more dangerous. Because humiliation had turned into strategy. And this time, she wasn't coming alone. Yura didn't come to the house. She didn't call. She didn't post. She did something worse. She aligned. 2 weeks after the board meeting, June's father requested a private dinner. No board members, no media, just family. Alana knew what that meant. This isn't reconciliation, she said quietly while fastening Mina's bracelet. No, June agreed. It's positioning. Am I walking into a trap? He met her eyes. Yes. She nodded once. Okay. Mina looked between them again. Are we dressing fancy or scary fancy? June almost smiled. Scary fancy. The private dining room overlooked the Han River. floor-to-ceiling glass. No warmth. His father stood when they entered. That alone was deliberate. Respect, but measured. "You came," his father said. "Yes," Alana replied calmly. Mina bowed slightly, copying something she'd practiced. His father noticed. "You've been studying?" "A little," Mina said proudly. A flicker of something unreadable crossed his face. They sat. The first course arrived untouched. His father didn't waste time. "Yura's family has filed a defamation complaint." Joon didn't react. "For what?" Alana asked evenly. "For reputational damage. She kidnapped my daughter. They are arguing coercion." Alana's spine straightened. "She lured a child under false pretenses. They will say the child was confused. She wasn't." His father's gaze sharpened. "You underestimate how narrative functions here." "No," Alana replied softly. "I understand it very well." A pause. "The complaint is strategic," his father continued. "It pressures shareholders to demand separation." "From me?" Joon asked. "Yes." "And if I refuse?" "They reduce your voting authority." There was silence. Mina's fork paused mid-air. Joon's voice stayed level. "You would allow that?" "I would allow consequences." Alana inhaled slowly. "What do you want?" she asked. His father finally looked directly at her. "I want stability." "At the cost of honesty?" "At the cost of volatility." "You mean me?" "I mean disruption." She nodded slowly. "You believe I'm temporary?" "Yes." Joon's jaw tightened. His father continued. "Men at 33 believe in intensity." "And at 60? Joon asked evenly. "We believe in sustainability." Silence. Alana set down her napkin. "You think I will fade?" His father didn't answer. "You think he will wake up at 40 and resent the years?" Silence again. "And you think I should step aside to preserve optics?" His father's eyes met hers. "That would be wise." Mina looked at her mother. "Are we leaving?" The room froze. Alana looked down at her daughter. "No." Then she looked back at his father. "I will not teach her that love negotiates with intimidation." His father's gaze hardened. "You confuse love with defiance." "No," she said calmly. "I refuse to confuse control with protection." That landed. Harder than anything else. Joon spoke next. "If you reduce my authority, I'll restructure." "You will fracture the board." "Then let it fracture." His father studied him for a long time. "You would divide this family. You divided it when you made love conditional." Silence. Heavy. Measured. Finally, his father stood. "This conversation isn't finished." "No," Joon agreed. "It's just honest now." The fallout was immediate. 2 board members resigned publicly. Share prices dipped. Media speculated. International press reignited the age narrative. Gold digger. Midlife crisis. Power imbalance. Alana read none of it. She focused on Mina's school application interviews instead. But pressure has a way of leaking. One afternoon, Mina came home quieter than usual. Alana knelt in front of her. "What happened?" "A girl said you're with him because he's rich." Silence. "And what did you say?" "I said you don't even like expensive shoes." Alana laughed softly, despite being sad. "Smart answer." Mina's eyes searched hers. "Are you?" "No." "Then why do they say it?" "Because sometimes people don't understand things that don't fit their rules." "Like you being older?" "Yes." Mina nodded slowly. "Does that make him a baby?" Alana almost choked on a laugh. "No." "Then why do they care?" I exhaled. "Because they think love should follow a formula." "And you don't?" "No." Mina thought about that. Okay. And just like that, she moved on. Children were merciful like that. Adults weren't. That evening, Joon arrived later than usual. His tie loosened, his patience thinner. They're pushing a vote. When? 48 hours. To reduce your authority? Yes. And Yura? Her father is backing it. Silence. Alana walked toward him slowly. Then you step down. He looked at her sharply. No. You step down before they force you. That's surrender. That's strategy. He shook his head. They'll read it as weakness. Let them. He stared at her. You don't understand what this costs. You don't understand what it costs if you lose yourself fighting it. Silence stretched. You think I'm fighting for ego? I think you're fighting because you've never been told no. His eyes flashed. I've been told no my entire life. Not by yourself. That hit. He turned away. She stepped closer. If they reduce your authority, you become reactive. If I step down, I become irrelevant. No, she said gently. You become free. Silence. You'd be okay if I walked away from it? I'd be okay if you walked away from anything that requires you to stop being who you are. He looked at her again. You don't want the power. I want you intact. A long pause. And if I lose both? He asked quietly. She held his gaze. Then we build something else. That word, we, it settled deep. Because for the first time, the future wasn't about merging into his world. It was about possibly creating one of their own. 48 hours later, the vote happened. Joon didn't step down. He stood. He argued. He split the board. But he didn't win cleanly. They reduced his executive control. Not entirely, just enough to remind him he wasn't untouchable. Media called it a symbolic demotion. Yura's family issued a statement about restoring balance. Joon came home that night quieter. Alana opened the door before he reached for the handle. He looked at her for a long moment. I lost ground. Did you lose yourself? No. Then you didn't lose. He exhaled slowly. You're impossible. And you're stubborn. He stepped inside. Mina ran toward him. Did you fight the dragons? He smiled faintly. Something like that. Did you win? He paused. I'm still standing. Mina grinned. That's winning. He looked at Alana over her head. And something shifted. Because maybe power didn't look like a boardroom. Maybe it looked like this. But outside, Yura wasn't done. Because humiliation had turned into obsession. And obsession doesn't retreat quietly. The next court date wasn't dramatic. It was quiet, which somehow made it heavier. Alana sat straight-backed beside her attorney, fingers laced calmly in her lap. Joon sat one row behind her this time, not in front, not shielding, beside, just like she asked. Her ex-husband, Marcus, looked tired. Not remorseful, just tired. The judge flipped through pages. Mr. Hale, she said evenly, you requested full custody on the grounds of instability, coercion, and moral misconduct. Marcus shifted. Yes, Your Honor. You provided no evidence of neglect. Silence. You provided no psychological findings indicating harm to the child. His lawyer cleared his throat. We raised concerns regarding media exposure. Exposure created by a third party currently under criminal investigation, the judge cut in. The courtroom stilled. Alana didn't look at Marcus. The judge continued. The child has demonstrated stability in school records. No behavioral decline, no academic disruption. Testimonies from teachers indicate security and attachment to the mother. Marcus swallowed. You filed 3 motions in 8 months. Yes. All dismissed. There was a pause. This court finds your petition retaliatory. The word echoed, retaliatory. You will receive standard visitation as previously ordered. Further frivolous filings will incur penalties. Marcus's jaw tightened. He looked at Alana then, not with rage, with something uglier, resentment that she had survived him. She met his eyes calmly, not triumphant, just finished. When they stepped outside, reporters tried to crowd them. Joon stepped slightly closer, not in front, beside. "What does this ruling mean for you?" someone shouted. Alana answered herself. "It means my daughter stays where she's safe. No more, no less." The Yura consequences didn't come all at once. They came layered. The criminal case moved forward. The kidnapping charge held. Digital forensics confirmed manipulated posts. Private messages surfaced. Voice recordings. Calculated intent. At the preliminary hearing, Yura stood composed, but her father didn't. His influence had limits, especially once the narrative shifted from scandal to crime. In court, the prosecutor didn't dramatize, she presented facts. She arranged a meeting under false pretenses. She transported a minor without consent. She initiated defamatory publications. No hysteria, just evidence. Yura's lawyer argued emotional distress, humiliation, provocation. The judge wasn't impressed. Alana attended one hearing, only one. Yura saw her across the room. Their eyes locked. There was no smugness in Alana's gaze, just quiet finality. Afterward, outside the courthouse, Yura approached her. Security hesitated. Joon stiffened, but Alana didn't move. Yura's voice was low. "You ruined everything." Alana tilted her head slightly. "No, you did. You think you've won? I didn't come here to win." "Then what did you come for?" Alana held her gaze. "To stop running." Yura's composure cracked just slightly. "He'll resent you." "Maybe." "You're older." "Yes." "You'll age faster." "We all do." Yura's jaw tightened. "You think this is noble?" "No," Alana said softly. "It's honest." And that was the difference. Weeks later, the verdict came down. Guilty on unlawful restraint and defamation. Suspended sentence, heavy fines, mandated counseling, and formal public retraction. It wasn't cinematic, it was administrative, which felt more permanent. The public apology was brief. "I acted out of emotional distress and regret the harm caused." No eye contact, no real remorse, but the record stood, and influence couldn't erase it. The board tension didn't disappear overnight, but something shifted. Joon stopped fighting for control. He started building something adjacent, a separate investment branch, smaller, more agile, less tradition-bound. Investors followed. Not all, but enough. At one dinner months later, his father requested another private meeting. This time, there was no edge in the invitation, just gravity. They sat in his father's study. No long table, just 3 chairs. His father looked older, not weaker, just reflective. "He misjudged permanence," he said finally. Silence. Joon didn't rush to answer. "I assumed intensity would fade." Alana remained still. "It hasn't," his father admitted. "No," Joon said calmly. His father looked at Alana. "You have not leveraged his name." "No." "You have not pursued position." "No." "You have not asked for integration." "I didn't need to." A long pause. "You understand the scrutiny will remain." "Yes." "You understand society will not fully approve." "Yes." "You understand time will change you first." Silence. "Yes," she said. His father nodded slowly. "And you remain?" "Yes." He studied her for a long moment. Then he looked at his son. "You are no longer reacting." "No." "You are choosing." "Yes." Another long pause.
His father exhaled. Then I will not oppose it. The words were simple, but heavy. Joon blinked once, not shocked, just absorbing. His father stood. I will not celebrate loudly. I don't expect you to. But I will not obstruct. That was his version of acceptance. Measured, controlled, real.
When they left the study, Alana didn't speak immediately. Outside, the night air felt lighter. That's as close to a blessing as you'll get, Joon said quietly. I don't need applause, she replied softly. He smiled faintly. I know. The final shift didn't happen in a courtroom or a boardroom. It happened in a small living room in Seoul. Mina was sprawled on the floor, drawing. Joon sat beside her, helping with Korean homework. You're saying it wrong, Mina said confidently. I'm not. You are. Alana watched them from the kitchen doorway. He wasn't performing. He wasn't proving anything. He was just there. Mina looked up suddenly. Mom? Yes? Are we staying? Alana glanced at Joon, then back at her daughter. Yes. For how long? She walked over slowly and sat beside her. For as long as it feels right. Mina nodded, satisfied. She went back to drawing. Joon looked at Alana quietly. No conditions? He asked. No ultimatums, she replied. He studied her face. You don't regret it? She smiled softly. I regret waiting 14 years to stop being afraid. He reached for her hand. No cameras, no witnesses, just them. You were my teacher, he said quietly. I was. You taught me structure. She smiled. And now? You taught me courage. Silence. She squeezed his hand. You were my student. I was. You taught me patience. And now? You're teaching me to trust time. He leaned closer. I don't feel younger than you. I don't feel older than you. A pause. We just are, she finished and hugged him. Outside, the city moved. Judgment still existed. Whispers still lingered. Age didn't disappear. Culture didn't dissolve. But neither did they. And that was the point. Love hadn't erased the barrier. They had walked through it. Not recklessly, not rebelliously, deliberately. And this time, no one was running. And maybe that's the real lesson here. Love isn't always convenient. It isn't always approved. And it definitely doesn't follow society's timeline. But when two people choose each other deliberately, maturely, without hiding, that kind of love doesn't beg for permission. If this story reminded you that second chances are real, if you believe love doesn't expire with age, if you think courage is choosing someone even when it costs you, then make sure you like this video. And if you want more stories about powerful men who learn humility, strong women who refuse to shrink, and love that defies expectations, subscribe. Because the next story, it might challenge everything you think you know about who deserves to be chosen.